Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dakisha Williams, your webinar strategist, and I'm going to come here for a few minutes just to talk to you a little bit about marketing your message. And this is kind of like my favorite area between marketing your message and monetizing your message are probably the two most popular and my favorite areas to teach. So for the last couple of days, we've been talking really about crafting your core message. We've been talking about how to master your message, that signature message that you want to portray both online and offline. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get started with marketing your message. So once you identify your core messaging, which we stopped and we talked about, you have to watch the rest of the videos. But once you start to look at how to market this, and there's so many ways that we can talk about marketing, so many different strategies that you can look at in regards of marketing your message, right? But today I want to talk to you very briefly. Just three particular areas where I want to concentrate on. Is number one is identifying who are you speaking to. And there's always a battle here. Because sometimes I come across people who wants to, I can help everyone. I can help everybody. Technically, maybe you can. But then again, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Go! You better write that down. If you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? And so the other day I was having a conversation. Actually, I was a guest speaker on a summit, and the young lady had just did a presentation, and we were doing a reverse mastermind. I like that, a reverse mastermind, right? And so she was talking about an event that she did back in November, and the audience was widowed women and then divorced women. And so she was talking about who her audience was and the fact that her messaging was speaking to both audiences. Well, for me, this is just me, I believe it's two separate audiences. Here's why I believe it's two separate audiences, right? And they're like, well, don't niche down. And I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong, but it's just a perfect example. And some of the feedback was not to niche down any further, right? Until you make money. And I'm cool with that. But my thing was, and this is what stood out for me. And it's probably because I've interacted with both. I've interacted with women who have been divorced, and I've interacted with women who are widows who actually lost their husband. Now, watch this. And you can tell me how you feel about it. One of the things that I said to her, and she kind of agreed, actually. She said what she said was, I said to her, I said, listen, I personally feel like you are speaking to two different audiences and you can relate to them. Okay. And watch this, because I thought about you all and the community that we've created, which made this stand out to me. Right. So she had did an event where she talked about grief and, dealing with grief is loss, right? Okay, cool. That's cool. That's fine. However, what I said to her, and she's a coach who works with individuals who deal with grief. And this is what I said to her. I said, let me ask you something. I said, yes, grief covers 7 steps of grief, right? But, that's all old school smack the lips. I'm sorry. But let me ask you this. If you separated the room, I put all my divorced women on the left-hand side and I put all my widowed women on the right-hand side. Yes, we are all dealing with grief. And this young lady had lost her husband, right? So she understood my women on the right. I said to her, I said, listen, I would be sitting on the left-hand side. Here is the difference. If I wanted to circle the block, I could circle the block. They can't circle the block. Well, I guess from you looking, it might be pointing this way, right? But if I look to my right, they can't circle the block. So can you really help them the same. Just a thought. So when we talk about marketing, and I know I'm sorry, all it takes is one story and my time of training kind of goes prolonged. But can you really market to them the same? Because honestly speaking, there's two different messages. Now, if you generalize the messaging just to grief, then come on, you better teach. So I'm bringing you up in. Honestly speaking, grief, yeah, it's 7 layers to grief. It's 7 processes, it's 7 stages to grief. And yes, you're gonna probably go through all the stages, and you're gonna probably go through all the stages. But I love what Show said. Divorce is a choice, death is not. And that's what I said to her. I said, listen, and I said it, they laugh, but I'm like, if I decided that I wanted to circle a block with my ex, I can make that decision. I said, they can't circle the block. Their loved one was taken away from them and they're not coming back. I can go to Target and I can run into my ex. I said, so yes, I understand that we both are dealing with grief, but at the same time, we are still living 2 different experiences. And I told her, I said, I can guarantee you can relate with the women that are widowed, because I know that there was a time in their life where they were in a position where their grief didn't allow them to get out of the bed. However, a person that's going through divorce, don't get me wrong, depression might have hit, and there might have been a couple of days where you didn't get out the bed, but baby, you still got to work, right? Like when you get a divorce, you don't get no leave of absence for divorce. You get a whole leave of absence if you don't leave your job when you lose a loved one. So when I talk about your marketing message, okay, so number 1, you got to identify who you're speaking to. Number 2, what problem do they have, right? So yes, we are experiencing grief, and that's one thing. But if you're going to market to that industry, you have to market to the grief. You cannot market to that particular person. So I said to her, I said, if you wanted to do a workshop or a retreat for divorce women, that's one thing. But if you wanted to do something for widow women, that's another thing, because there are going to be experiences. Come on, y'all. There's going to be experiences that my widow women are going to experience that my divorced ladies just cannot relate to. And that does not mean that they can't come under one roof and to unite. But when you're marketing and when you're promoting, your coaching program, or how you help, widow women, work through their circumstances, that the unforeseen circumstances, right? That's a totally different thing. And yes, divorce, sometimes you can see that coming. Like, let's be real. You can see that coming. You knew that wasn't looking good. But anyway, and then the last thing that I want to talk about before I end this training is number 3 is, what transformation does the person that you're speaking to, what transformation do they want to have? So if you are working with a particular audience, whether that is, weight loss, grief, coaching, building a business online, when they come to you, in your marketing message, it should specifically state, say that real fast, it should specifically state what the transformation is when they work with you. For an example, I'll just kind of give you a perfect example. One of the things that, for me, that I pride myself on is that when people ask me, what is it that you do? I pride myself on helping entrepreneurs who use speaking to grow their business, to create consistent leads and create consistent revenue in their business using webinars, right? So when you think about it, okay, I gave you a specific audience. I gave you a specific transformation that I helped them in their business. And so my messaging is consistent. So if you go to any of my platform, my messaging is going to be consistent. And for an example, one of my lead generation tools is a 20-25 minute mini webinar. And you can get access by going to www.createconsistentleads.com. That's www.createconsistentleads.com. I wonder if I can put, I don't know, if somebody posted, I can put it up on the screen. I appreciate you. So I wanted to make sure that I really, kind of touched on the fact of once you master your message, then we're going to go into marketing your message. And so we are opening enrollment for our monthly membership. Our monthly membership, if you want information about what it's like to be in the monthly membership, it costs about the same as a Starbucks coffee a day, right? And I love a grande extra caramel macchiato. I'm going to go get me one in the morning. I want you to drop tribe in the comments, and myself or someone from the team will actually reach out to you and talk to you a little bit about what the tribe has to offer. We hope that you would consider becoming a part of our tribe and building and growing your business as we embark into 2024. My name is Dakisha Williams, your webinar and business strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys next time.